Some breaking news here to report. We are learning now, in fact, just learning a few moments ago, Michael Cohen has now been subpoenaed by the Senate Intelligence Committee to testify. Senate Intel just a few moments ago telling our Hallie Jackson, confirming with our Chief White House correspondent Hallie Jackson that he is in fact going to be subpoenaed. You'll recall here, just a few moments ago, we played you that sound from Cohen's attorney, Lanny Davis, who appeared this morning over on Good Morning America. This is what Lanny Davis said about why Michael Cohen would not be testifying before the House committee.
The last thing that Michael Cohen fears are partisan hack questions from Republicans. We expect that. Let me be very clear. The House of Representatives now has an obligation. A resolution of censure when the President of the United States indisputably intimidates and obstructs justice to prevent a witness from testifying is an order.
Lanny Davis there, Michael Cohen's legal advisor, again, reiterating what we heard yesterday from Michael Cohen, that he would not be testifying before that House committee, citing threats to his family from the president and the president's TV attorney, Rudy Giuliani. President Trump yesterday also tweeting about this news, tweeting about Cohen's decision to no longer testify. This was the president's tweet related to his one-time attorney and fixer, Michael Cohen. President Trump tweeting, I believe we have the tweet. There it is. So interesting that bad lawyer Michael Cohen, who sadly will not be testifying before Congress, is using the lawyer of Crooked Hillary to represent him. Gee, how did that happen? Remember July 4th weekend when Crooked Hillary went before the FBI, blah, blah, blah. Again, that tweet from the president related to Michael Cohen. Now, again, word just a few moments ago that Michael Cohen has been subpoenaed to testify before the Senate Intel Committee.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.